All right, we are here with new Rockford IceHogs signee Ryan Gagnier. Ryan, you signed your first pro contract with the IceHogs just the other week. What did it feel like to sign on the dotted line?
It was a great feeling, to be honest. I was very proud of myself. Just after the season, throughout the year, I had a goal in mind, and it was to sign somewhere, sign some sort of contract, and I'm very happy and grateful that I was able to do that here with Rockford.
Well, your OHL season wrapped up just a few weeks ago. So, what have you been doing here in the summer months? What have you been doing this off season?
Yeah, so I got home maybe close to a month ago. So I took two and a half weeks of just rest and kind of relax and just kind of get my mind away from the season and just everything. And then just a couple weeks ago, I started to gear it back up a little bit. Just getting back in the gym, starting to skate again. Obviously not as heavy as I would come July or so, but just getting there, keeping the feel ready, and just enjoying my time at home.
No doubt you need some much deserved time away from the rink to kind of recover after a long OHL season with the Oshawa Generals. But this is going to be your first off season, kind of heading into a pro campaign. So, have you thought at all about what that preparation is going to look like for the pro season?
Yeah, obviously preparation and the off season is what really counts in heading into a player's heading into any player's season. So I was uh, I was able to chat with a few friends of mine that do play in the AHL and that have been around pro a little bit, and just got a little bit of insight on what to expect and how to prepare the best. And it may be a cliche thing to say, but it's always you just want to get bigger, faster, stronger, and those are some keys that I'm working on this off season for sure.
Well, you mentioned a couple of your buddies that you were texting. Who are some of the guys, maybe at the AHL or the NHL level, that you kind of look up to, that maybe you style your game app to, or that you grow up watching?
Yeah, well, when it comes to guys that I talk to personally, are just guys I've grown up with. Some of my best friends. Tyler Tulio, he's in Bakersfield, and then a couple of my other close friends like Matthew Maggio. He just recently signed with the Islanders. He had a little stint in Bridgeport here to end the season. So there's just a few guys that I've known my whole life that are kind of tracking down the same path as me, and it's all obviously really good to have them, and just because they've lived it, and I'm going to be hopefully. So it's good to hear some words from them. And
What
then
are you most excited about turning pro?
yeah, to be honest, I'm just very excited to continue playing hockey. Pro or not, I'm very grateful that it is pro, but I'm just a very big hockey fan, obviously, and this is what I love to do. So it's very nice that I get to do this at the next level.
At what point was it this year or maybe in years past? At what point were you kind of getting the inkling that you were going to have a pro career and this was going to be a possibility for you past junior?
Throughout my junior career, even from when I was 16 to just my overage season, I always knew what I was capable of out there on the ice, and I was grateful to have a lot of good coaches and people around me that supported me in many ways. And they would always just instill in the back of my mind that I'm here for a reason, and I can really do this. So I think my game is just a game that can translate to the pro level, I hope. Just being a 200-foot player. So just throughout my junior career, having a lot of people behind me is what really helped me with this.
Well, you mentioned being a 200-foot player. You were recognized as one of the top defensive forwards, one of the top, one of the hardest workers in the OHL, one of the best penalty killers by the coaches in that end of season coaches poll in the OHL. What was it like to kind of receive those accolades? Was it validating for this last season?
Yeah, those are obviously some things that felt really nice to achieve. But with me, I'm not the biggest on accolades and all that. I just like to do my thing and go play. But obviously, you cannot complain when you get recognized for a few of those, and I'm happy I did.
Well, we can tell from that answer you're a team guy. Let's talk about the team a little bit. This last year in the OHL with Oshawa, what was that season like for you? You were leading the way in scoring, wore one of the A's on your chest. Felt like you
Mhm.
were in a leadership role. What was it like?
Yeah, so this was I've been an Oshawa General since I was 16. So without the COVID year, I've been a part of that organization for 5 years. So we had a very young team this year and a lot of new guys. I think the second half of the year, I might have been the the only player that was still there from the previous 2 years or something. So we had a pretty young team, a lot of new faces. So I just wanted to make sure all those guys felt very welcome from the beginning, and were comfortable enough to just play their game and trust what they have.
And how much of that is you being present at both ends of the ice there? Is that part of that leadership that you took on, and being that 200-foot player, is that something that's always been a part of your game?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like to lead by example also. So I just hope that the younger guys throughout the season saw some of the ways I played and some of the habits, the good habits, and picked up on those. Hopefully that can help them all the way down their careers as well.
I know this offseason is a little bit longer than you would have liked. You guys got bounced in that first round of the playoffs this year, but you did score an overtime winner in one of those playoff games. Is that your favorite goal that you've scored as a general?
Yeah, I think it has to be. That was an amazing one. That felt really good.
Is it hard to move on from an organization that you've been with for so long, especially through some transformative years?
Hmm. Yeah, it wasn't easy. It hadn't kicked in for a little bit after the season. Probably maybe a couple weeks after I got home is when I really started to realize that my time in Oshawa was done. But I have nothing but good things to say about that organization and everyone involved in it. I had a great 4 or 5 years with that team, and they're a big part of where I am today.
You mentioned the COVID year a little bit. Obviously, there was no OHL during that campaign. What were you doing during that season, and did that kind of help your development in a way to maybe work on some other parts of your game?
Yeah, so obviously we got that whole year wiped, and that was a tough one just because that season it was either between Oshawa or the Sioux for the Mem Cup to host the Memorial Cup. So I think we would have had a pretty good chance of getting it. So it was tough to just forego that season. But all throughout COVID, I didn't end up playing anywhere else. I stayed home throughout COVID. Um, and to be honest, I was just training. I was working out. I was skating. Obviously, with that much time on your hands, you had to do some work on the side, pass the time. But it was a lot of training and skating and just working on things that I really think that I needed to improve on, and I think that time benefited me.
Well, clearly it worked because there have been large jumps, especially in offensive production, but large jumps in your game from season to season in the
Hmm.
OHL. Now to the point where last year you were over a point a game and leading your team in scoring. What do you attribute that progression to, and how much did that COVID year help that progression?
Yeah. First, I think with the COVID year, I think it could have been a good thing or a bad thing for many players. I feel that during that time, um, players that weren't moving away to play anywhere else had to stay very motivated and find the true reason they love the game to stay in the gym for a year plus, keep going to skates every week. So I think I took that time and really just stayed motivated and worked on myself and my game. And then and yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Ryan, tell us a little bit about yourself away from the ice now. Are you fishing at all in the summertime? You hitting the pool, hitting the golf course? What kind of stuff are you up to when you're not working on your craft?
Yeah, throughout the summer, when it's not hockey related and training related, I like to spend a lot of time with my friends around home, just because for a full season, a lot of us are away playing hockey places, summer in school, so it's always good to enjoy that time with them. And then I'm a pretty big golfer, so I spend a lot of time on the golf course.
Okay, all right. We got a plenty of great courses here in Rockford. What's your handicap?
Right now, I'm a four.
Okay, you'll,
Yeah,
you'll you'll fit right in. I think we got a couple sticks on the team
yeah,
there
I
that
hope
going
so.
back. Well, Ryan, this has been great. Thanks again for chatting with us here today. We're excited to have you here in the state line.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I'm very excited to get going.